So as promised from the last video, I'm going to give you 5 ways to help you stay grounded and navigate this period through the US election and beyond. This is also going to be applicable if you are generally going through major change in your own life. If you're feeling excess agitation, this is certainly a time of year, autumn time, where Ayurveda advises us to engage in these types of grounding and centering type practices. Things that we would call pacifying vata dosha type practices. So one thing I want to say before I start is that there is real power to integrating these types of practices. Now, as much as I would like to say just do one, I guess what I'm trying to say is you could be in a really good meditation practice, a great morning journaling practice that helps you stay grounded. But if you are filling your body with, let's say, excesses of, we'd say, agitating substances like probably alcohol, excess sugar, excesses of caffeine or other things that really challenge your nervous system and deplete you, then your practices, your movement practices, other things that you do, they are just not going to have as much of a positive impact. I'm just going to say that straight out. And at this time, you might even want to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to, for the next 40 days or however long, we have a new moon coming up, always a good time to make a fresh start. You could say, okay, I'm going to cut refined sugar and alcohol out. Alcohol is just another form of sugar, really. That we're going to cut that out over this period because I know it's really going to help me stay grounded in a time when my nervous system may feel more agitated. So I think I'm just going to start with food, actually, on that note, right? So the first thing I'm going to say is to avoid agitating substances, right? And you know what they are. The foods that Ayurveda recommends really in terms of pacifying vata, pacifying any of those feelings of agitation, and that can include, conditions like, palpitations, constipation, insomnia, just generally feeling more restless and anxious, right? We would say to favor, whole foods and to avoid cold and dry foods. I would also add to those lists of agitating substances and hyper-processed foods in there too. So enjoying warm, cooked whole foods with good oils, we say unctuous, and to really be in a good food rhythm. We'd say eating your main meal in the middle of the day is ideal from an Ayurvedic point of view, okay, just to keep your digestion happy. So, and to, above all, make sure you're nourishing yourself both with food and with water, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing I'm going to say is, and this is something that I do religiously this time of year particularly, is to oil your body. And you don't have to spend a whole load of money on oil. You can just get regular, pure cold-pressed sesame oil, and you put it in a little jar, a little bottle, and put it in some warm water to warm it up, like a little bain-marie, and put it all over your body before you get in the shower in the morning. And it just give yourself some love. It nourishes your skin. It really helps to ground into your body and feel connected to your body. As I mentioned in the last video, the Rahu energy is all up here. So getting embodied and getting into your body is really, really important at this time. So that's the second thing. The third thing is breath and movement practices. Conscious movement. Of course, I favor yoga. I'm going to share some practices this week that will emphasize pranayama, breath practices. Alternate nostril breathing particularly is excellent for soothing your nervous system. All right, every morning, 3 to 6 rounds even, just to really get grounded, feel into the balancing energies, the solar and lunar energies of your body. Movement, again, from an embodiment point of view, and you may have different ways that you wish to do that. I highly recommend rhythmic movement. That's why we love things like sun salutations, moon salutations, any kind of namaskar in yoga, which helps you come into a rhythm that helps us get out of our heads and into our bodies. The fourth thing, and this requires a little bit more of maybe an Ayurvedic practitioner input, but I think we can generally say that if you do have real, digestive things going on we can really feel anxiety in our lower abdomen. That triphala is a wonderful foundational Ayurvedic herb to help with that. It's not something I'd say just start taking it and, just keep taking it. It's always good to just check in with these things, but it can really, help to regulate your digestion and your elimination. It can also kind of help curb cravings for sweet things, which might be helpful in terms of, cutting out sugary substances, right? And I guess I can mention ashwagandha as well. It's good for this time of year. It's an adaptogen herb, meaning it helps us to navigate change, and this time might feel quite turbulent for you. So this can be a good one to take as well. Always be careful with ashwagandha if you have any very inflammatory conditions going on, because it can increase, we say, pitta dosha in Ayurveda. So always good to check on that one. But if you actually take it with triphala, it can help to balance that effect. But you can give me a shout if you need more info on that. And I think I'm on to the fifth thing. Yes, I'm on the fifth thing. The fifth thing is get into nature. Be in connection with nature. Get away from screens as much as you possibly can, right? Social media, the screen, is Rahu energy that I was talking about a lot in the last video, right? Getting into nature, grounding barefoot, being close to trees, grounding and clarity are going to come at are going to be premium conditions right now, right? Feeling grounded and being clear and peaceful and compassionate and understanding are going to come at a real premium. And, you may be going through a Rahu period of your life and you're feeling it even more. You may be feeling excess vata, excess agitation at this time. It can get stirred up more this time of year anyway, right? So getting into nature, being in practices, I didn't mention the sort of daily practices, although I did mention journaling, but, that kind of for me goes hand in hand with your breath work and your meditation practices that I mentioned, right? And you can practice with me every week. We do lots of different, breath and movement practices, and I'm really emphasizing the ones that are going to help you stay grounded, stay in good rhythms, stay in your body, get you a little bit, less up in your head over this time. So I hope these are helpful, and I am here to help, and feel free to reach out on anything at all that relates to, this content. And yeah, as I said, you can join me at any time. We can meet every week in my on-demand space, and I'll send you a way to connect with that easily in the comments below. Sending you lots of love, and I'll